Welcome to episode 83 of the World Triathlon podcast, where we follow up our recent chat with the 2023 Women's World Champion Beth Potter with a revealing hour in the company of our new Men's World Champion Dorian Coninx. It's a brilliantly honest assessment of his early career and how he turned his raw and often volatile competitive instincts into something altogether more productive, coming to terms with the highs and lows of top-tier sport in order to achieve what he always knew he was capable of. He reveals how he plotted his way to the top and what it will take to stay there through the biggest year of his life next year and the prospect of a home Olympic Games in Paris. Thanks as always for listening. And don't forget you can watch back those incredible races from Pontevedra and the Paris test event on triathlonlive.tv, where this weekend we will have the penultimate round of the World Cup circuit live from Miyazaki, Japan, where episode 70 guest Gwen Jorgensen looks to make it 4 wins on the bounce, and Kenji Nena, whose chat on here back in 2021 on episode 33 is well worth a listen, goes for what would be a famous home win in Japan. That's Saturday morning local time in the middle of the night in Europe. But for now, here's Dorian. Salut Dorian.
Salut.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Blonde hair is gone.
Yeah, sure.
Getting two-tone, was it? Did it?
Yeah, exactly. But the rose was too long, and so I cut everything.
Yeah. Was the initial blonde was just before Paris, wasn't it? Before the test event, or was it a bit before that?
No, it was like before I went to the training camp in Rome, so like a month before Paris.
Right.
Because I knew I wasn't gonna see a lot of people there, so I was comfortable with that.
Because I guess to the sort of outside world, it's perhaps not obvious that ahead of a race like Paris, and with a team like the French team do it as well as it is, and always looking so on the same page when it comes to racing, the fact that you don't actually train very much together and all very much kind of do your own thing is perhaps not that obvious to people who may think that, it's all very much like one group and one clique, but it's not like that at all, huh?
Yeah, no, not at all. We have all trained together at one point, and we all know them very well and get along very well. But the French Federation has always tried to help us train in the way that we wanted and make us in the condition that fits everybody individually.
Yeah.
So I think that's why everybody has his own training group, his own way to do it. And I think it's a good thing because at least you're 100% okay with what you're doing.
So it's actually like the National Federation is encouraging you to do your own thing. It's not like, because in a lot of cases they try and make it a bit more homogenous and easier to manage, right? So they're trying to bring everyone together and do it the same way. But with you guys, it's actually actively encouraging you to do your own thing.
I think that they would love us to train in the French center like Montpellier or Blois. It would be great for them, but they also know that it's really important for an athlete to feel well where he is and to have everything in the way that he wanted. So that's why they are doing the effort to help us. I think that's why I see from my perspective.
And when the results are clicking as well, then I guess they have less reason to question the method, right? I remember last year talking to Leo, and he had just been test running his own little path to longer distance races, actually in the middle of the WTCS season as well, right? And I guess he must have done 2 or 3 or 4 during last season, and he found that it was helping his, particularly like Olympic distance, obviously racing and building his capacity and so on. And that's not going to be the case for everybody. But and then was it similar for you? So you've just done Challenge Biobocor, which is your first middle distance race, and with that, in a similar, wait until the end of the season and then try something, to round off the year, or is this not really the end of the year for you?
Yeah, it's the end of the year. I'm really tired now. I think like it's quite similar. Like when you are doing Olympic distance, you are checking the results for long distance because it's the same sport, and I love the sports in general. So with the curiosity, you want to try, and also it's a bit different at training. And I think one kind of training can help, like because you it's good to change sometimes, and it's also you can develop some skills for the Olympic distance even with the longer distance. So I think sometimes it's not easy for the federation to let us do everything because they are always worried for us to be less strong than with another kind of training. But at the end we can do our launching and
Yeah, I mean, obviously it worked well for Pierre as well, worked for Leo. How did it go in VO? How did you find it?
It wasn't that great for me. I couldn't finish. Like I struggled with the muscle at the start of the run.
Right.
The weather condition was very bad, and it wasn't much fun to say.
Right.
I didn't enjoy myself on the race, but on the other one, the last month, like preparing this kind of race was very fun. So maybe it was just not a good day. I don't know. Maybe I will try again or not. No, I am just happy to be on holiday, and I will think about that later.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I was trying to sort of pick through the results a bit online, but they weren't that straightforward. I wasn't finding your name. I saw obviously you were leading out the swim, and
it was like I was 8 minutes behind at the end of the bike, and the last 10 kilometers were very, very tough for me on the bike. And then as soon as I started running, my muscle just fall apart like from everywhere, and I decided to stop. So that's how it went.
Have you come to the end of this season feeling like you've left less out there than ever before? You know, if you're stacking up your end of seasons versus others, and obviously this being the title winning season, but you've taken out a lot more, but do you feel like you've actually like physically, mentally put in an awful lot more to this season as well?
I think actually I was less exhausted than the other season.
Yeah,
because I raced less at the end. Like I think it was my 9th race, the Challenge Yabuko, which is not much, and it wasn't a lot of big travel, like no big flights or except Yokohama. And after every race, I had time to rest, and then time to train again, and time to race before the race. So no, actually, it was quite an easy season, and I think also because like when the season you have ups and downs mentally, it's really demanding to start training again, start racing again. You are always wondering how the shape is gonna be on the next races, but on that part it was very smooth for me. So no, actually the season wasn't so exhausting. Right. But in the other hand, with the after the title and stuff, I was really happy, and so it's a lot of feelings and emotions, and that's kind of tiring too.
Yeah. Was that always the plan at the start of the season, to do fewer races, to have test event as the focus, Pontevedra as a focus, and qualification, or was that just the way it kind of worked out as the start of the season got underway?
Yeah, it was the plan, like exactly this plan from my coach perspective. I wasn't really sure about that because I was like, if I'm missing like 2 or 3 races where I'm bad, there is not much left to do good races, you know. So I wasn't sure to follow this plan. I wanted to race a bit more, but after every good races, I was a bit more confident in this plan because yeah, everything was okay. So it was easier for me to say, I think you're right. I don't need to do so many races if every races are going well. So yeah, at the end, I followed the plan that we put in place in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So it was only, you obviously started in Abu Dhabi. So Montreal and Hamburg were always planned to not go to.
No, because I wanted to go to Formeux and to be in a good shape, to have a good training camp. So if I was racing these 2 races, I had to go to Formeux a bit later. And also I knew that I was going to be in the beginning tired of the races and the travel. So that's why I didn't go there.
Yeah.
And because also the main focus of the season was to get the qualification in Paris, so to get the podium in Paris. And I wanted to have a good ranking for the championship, but it was not the first focus. So I didn't. Yeah, it was not a big deal if I missed 1 races because it was not the goal.
But at the same time, if you're in form, you're feeling good, the results are going well, there's the school of thought that is of just keeping racing as well, right? Like, did you feel a little bit torn between?
Yeah, at one point you're a bit frustrated because I'm feeling good, I'm having good races, so it's the time to race. But I also knew that I had good races and I was feeling good because I had time between the races. So yeah, it's really tricky to figure out what's the best thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll pick through Paris and Pontevedra, obviously, to come, but good to sort of rewind things with you a bit as well, and just the kind of the story of Dorian from an early age. So yeah, you grew up in Échirol, right? Is that how you pronounce it? But
that's good.
Grenoble?
Close to Grenoble. Yeah, it's a little city next to Grenoble.
Quite a small town in just on the edge of the Alps there?
Yeah, it's like in the Alps.
Yeah.
There is mountain everywhere around the place. Yeah. But Grenoble is really low, like 200 meters from sea level. So it's there is no place to see far away. It's always wherever you watch, it's just mountains on your way.
Yeah,
which I love.
Was that like something as a kid that kind of fueled your adventure? Then it wasn't like these things are penning you in. You were more like, right, I want to get up there and see what's around. And
my grandparents were living like in the mountains, so on holidays or for weekend or stuff, I was always in the mountains, and it was good fun. There were so many things to do as a kid, and not as a kid. There were so many activities if you like being outside. And
so they were always trying to burn off a bit of excess energy, and you were the kind of kid that was like needing to be entertained and occupied. And
yeah, exactly. School wasn't the easy part. Sit on a chair, it wasn't that great for me.
But for triathlon specifically, is Grenoble, does it have a team on the Grand Prix circuit, or what is the nearest team to there? And was that your first like exposure to the sport, or how did that all come about?
No, there is no team for French Grand Prix or anything. I only knew about triathlon a bit late. Like I started triathlon, I was 17. And I straight get my license in a team which was 1 hour from Grenoble, 1 hour drive from Grenoble. But with the mountains and the lake, and it's a good place to practice triathlon. So there is still a lot of person doing triathlon in Grenoble. I was doing a lot of swimming,
right?
Like I think I at 15 I was swimming 10 times a week. So yeah, it helps me a lot to switch to triathlon.
And that was it a sort of national competition level? Were you traveling around France competing as well?
For swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing the French championship and never international.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that far. I was trying to qualify for the junior Europeans at the time, but I never did. And when I discovered triathlon, it was a friend of me who used to swim with me, started triathlon. So he pushed me to try with him. And yeah, it felt good. I already loved biking and running at the time, but it was just like as a hobby. And so it was kind of natural for me to go from swimming to triathlon. Yep. And it worked pretty well on the first races, like one house. You worked pretty well, so it's always nice to do a sport where you feel that you have potential, and that's why I started training more and I stopped swimming for triathlon.
Mm. And what year was that? What you were 17, but that was what? 2000
I think it was 2011, and I did my first French championship. I get third, I think. So the federation bring me to it was the youth Europeans, where there is a team relay, like with 3 person. I don't know if it still exists. I think so. And so yeah, it was the first moment with the French team, and it was awesome to be with the French team and doing the training camp with them. So I wanted a bit more. So I trained a little bit more and it was like always like this, just wanted a bit more.
Yeah. But so within 2 years, you're like, you're junior world champion in London in 2013, or before, let's say before world champion like that. Just the idea of qualifying and going to that championship must have been absolutely huge for you. Like that, yeah. Was this kind of one of your first international competitions as well, and certainly against, I guess, the caliber of opponent that you were lining up with?
Yeah, exactly. Like the first time I went to the European Championship was 1 year before, in 2012. I think it was Eilat or something, and it was the first time for me taking a plan. So it was like a big thing, like going for European Championship, taking a pro ride. I was so excited, and I raced there. I couldn't. I went there then to Auckland for the World Championship in 2012.
Oh yeah,
and
that was a long flight for someone who's not used to airplanes. And that was
exactly my second place was the longer I ever take since now. It's so long. It looks like a nice country, but it's taking too much time to go there. But yeah, so yeah. That's why it was motivated me that much, because everything was new. Like every year was doing a lot of new things and going to a lot of new places, and yeah, it was really exciting at the time. But also I think like when you are a junior, you are not wondering like about recovery that much, about am I gonna be in shape? Like you just want to go full gas from the beginning to the end. And yeah, I wasn't wondering anything about like if it's good or not to do this, so I think it helps you when you have a long travel to be just following the lead of the others.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the other athletes that were there in Auckland. So like Hella Haynes finished just outside the top 10, Kenji Naylor as well. Tyler Mizlchuk finishing 4th was Christian Blumenfeld. So, and presumably, well, or maybe had you battled some of those guys in Eliat the year before as well, or was this pretty much your first experience with,
No, I remember Christian. Like, it's funny because I told you in 2011 that I raced the Europeans youth relay, and the day after there was open races, and I was doing the race and I wanted to win, and I saw the short and a bit fat guy like starting full gas, and I remember thinking, it will last like for 1 kilometer and then I will catch up and be faster than him. But actually it was Christian, and I never caught him during the race. So yeah, on my very first international race, I knew who was Christian.
Right. Amazing.
No, yeah, I think because I raced the European Championship like 4 months before, most of I knew a big part of the guys. Yeah, I discovered the other part, like the non-European part.
And then heading into London in 2013, were you already? You're in London and you beat 2 Brits, right, to the top of the podium. In their own backyard.
Yeah. It's like I really wanted to win. Like, I've been thinking about it for a year. I wanted to win this race,
right,
because the previous year in Auckland I had some mechanical issues, and I was okay. This year I want to be strong enough to win, even if I have mechanical issues. That's what I told my coach at the time. So yeah, I have always been very competitive, and so I think it helps me for training and motivation and stuff, but it has also been a problem at one point, like after junior, when you going to the elite category, and it's not as easy, because always everybody is very strong, and sometimes after 10Ks on the bike, you have to feel smashed, and you have to continue, and you know that there is no way to win. And I was getting frustrated very fast, and that's why I had that much DNF. So yeah, it has not always been something who helped me, like the wanted to win all the time.
Well, you mean as in like your own race management, like pushing too hard in certain spots?
Yeah, exactly, like pushing too hard because you just want to be in the front, but after 1 kilometer you're already gone. You can't do anything, and you just stop because you are outside of the top 10. Shit is useless. Like, no, I know that you have to continue and you have to race until the end, and I have learned to respect any positions, like to fight for any places. But at the time, it was not as easy for me. I was like, as soon as I was not in the positions that I wanted to, or in the top 10 or anything, I would rather stop instead of having a bad race.
Yeah.
But you can't race like that all the time, and you can't progress if you are doing that all the time. So it has been a lot of work for me to figure that out.
Did the team have to kind of talk to you about this and sort of bring it out of you, or was it just something that you had to realize on your own, or that after a certain couple of races you're like, yeah, this can't carry on like this? Or
I think like the first years, it was 2015, 2016. Nobody told me anything, because obviously sometimes I was really bad and I wasn't finishing the races. But the time after, I was having really good results.
Yeah.
So it was
right
up and down all the time. And because I think because I was young, the federation didn't tell me anything. Like, it was okay, what's happened, and okay, it's gonna be better next time. And so it took me time to figure that out. But after the Olympics in 2016, I understood that something wasn't going the way it should, and that's when I started working with the mental coach. The name. So and he tells me a lot.
Psychologist specifically, you mean, or?
Oh yeah, exactly. A sports psychologist, and it helped me a lot, but it took a lot of time too. And I think I could have saved 1 or 2 years if I started earlier. But you need to realize, like, on your own that you need that, because if you are starting to work with a sports psychologist, just because somebody told you to, it will not be as efficient as if it's because you feel the need to do it.
Yeah. Plus, you'd won the junior world title in 2013, then the under 23 followed the year later, right? So, like you said, when it's clicking and you're on that trajectory, there's not many people that are going to be brave enough to sort of step in if you're looking a bit hot-headed or
but
like you said, it needs a little...
because it was the same thing every year. Like there was always 2 races to hide the rest of the results. So when I was checking the end of my year, I was okay. It was a good year. There is that and that, but then all the other results was DNF for 45, 50 places.
Were they like your real learning years then, between, like, I don't know, 2015 going into the Rio Olympics and then coming out, and then up to, it was 2018 or 2019 that you won in Bermuda? 2019, wasn't it?
19, yeah.
Yeah. But you were still feeling that there was something that needed just honing, and the sports psychologist was like a huge help, was it, as far as kicking?
Yeah, it was a huge help, and it still is. I'm still seeing him a lot, but so yeah, there was still something that I couldn't figure out why. Sometimes it was on, sometimes it was off, and I remember in 2018, 19, I just accept that. I was okay. I will never find what is the thing making me doing that. But yeah, this year apparently I found something. So we will see next year if I really found it or if it was just like...
Not to sort of dwell on the psychology side of it too much, but did you find from that very first session that you went into, this is really going to help? Or were there certain sessions that you came out of feeling that something really clicked?
For me, it's no magic. It's exactly like training. You are not feeling stronger after a swim session that you were before the swim session, but with the time, like after a few months or or a year doing this, you start realizing that you are not thinking the same way that you used to think a year ago. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like training. There is no magic. You have to do it and do it again and work on, because you can't really change who you are. You can just improve yourself. So yeah, it's taking a lot of time, and you are not always you're not always sure that you are walking in the good position, in the good direction. But it's really interesting. I think for the first year, like 3 or 4 years doing that, it helped me a lot on the training part, and also on my life, my way to be in the life, but not that much on the races. It was still up and down and up and down. So yeah, it's hard to figure out what works and what was just the experience
as well
of the years. But yeah.
So were you, like, looking back, do you feel you were like a bit hot-headed then as junior world champ, as under 23 world champ? Do you feel like you were getting a bit carried away with yourself and feeling like maybe bigger than you actually were, or was that not really the case?
It was not really the case, because every time I had the good races, the next races I had the bad races to remember that I wasn't that good.
Right.
And I really think when I had the good races, it wasn't not luck. I was really good. I was running fast. I was doing good bikes, and so it was just keeping me the hope that one day I could maybe be like world champion or something like this. But it was a slight hope, because I was struggling too much with consistency.
Yeah. I guess winning a junior world champs, even another 23 world champs, it's quite hard to get carried away with yourself, because the next logical step is either a World Cup start line or a WTCS start line, and that jump up is so freaking massive that I can't imagine there's many people that have gone straight from one into getting a top 5 or a top 10, or even just feeling that they belong in that new race environment, right? There's definitely paying your dues, learning how to mix it at the top table.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything is faster when you are at the elite level. Everybody is stronger. Like when it was 8 people for junior, now it's 40 people with the same level. So that's the really hard part. You can went from first to 40 really fast if something went wrong. That's the tough part to learn, and it takes time. So, but when you are young, I was impatient, so I didn't wanted to take time to do this stuff. I wanted to be strong, like straight. Yeah, that's why it was a bit complicated.
Yeah. And Rio 2016, you were still pretty young, right? How did that qualification, were you up against several other very strong contenders for the French team? Were you the obvious choice to join that group? How did that come about? And did you go into that feeling like, you had genuine chances there? Was it more for the experience?
So the qualification part wasn't easy, because there was already a lot of good French trying to qualify.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had the ticket at the last moment.
Right.
And I think I put a bit too much energy on trying to qualify for these games.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I try to grow too fast, and I missed some step at the time with European Cup, World Cup. I went straight to World Series, and with the analysis now, I think it was a bit too fast, but yeah, it happened. And coming to the Olympics, I had my first World Series podium the same year. So
things were feeling good.
I was feeling good. I thought it was possible for me to do the same maybe in the Olympics, but there was like 2% chance, because I was missing a lot of other stuff. But
right. So in fact, like coming out of Rio was more like, again, sort of things learned for the next campaign, was it? And sort of coming off the back of it, hungry.
Yeah, I think it was really good experience, because it was painful at the time, because I had a really bad race and a really bad year. But it made me do a lot of new choices, which helped me at the time to progress a lot.
I don't know. Do you feel then that the kind of consistency that obviously was like the hallmark of this season. People were saying, so Bermuda 2019, obviously that first series win and a huge moment, and then
I think I knew I had some consistency problems, and that's the only thing I was working on. And as I say, I kind of accept it. I was trying to fix it, but I was okay. Maybe it will always be like this. But if I'm watching the years after years, it has been a bit better every year. Like 2021, I think it was quite good. It was always between 1 and 15, which is a big gap, but for me it was not that big.
where you wanted to be. Yeah.
And then in 2022, I think it was a bit different because it looks like no consistency, but I had a lot of illness. I was sick all the time. I had injuries and stuff. So I had in 2022. I already had the feeling that I step up a little bit with consistency and with my level in general, but I couldn't show. I think we've done really good work in the last 2-3 years with my coach to understand how my body was working, and to adjust the training and the preparation in the last days, week before the races, to help me with this consistency thing.
To have had the 22 championship finals and the 23 championship finals, going into both like with a collective plan, right? And obviously 22 you weren't feeling great, right? Even on that start list, so just starting there, I suppose, like for you, was it quite a huge source of frustration that is the team, there was a plan going in, there was Leo in great position, you also, in a great position as well, but that you weren't able to play a part in
I crashed and I was sick before the race, so it doesn't help. I really wanted to help Leo on these races, because it was an easy plan, and I hadn't a lot of things to play on for myself on this race. So it was a bit frustrating to not being able to race with them, because it looks like a lot of fun being in breakaway. I used to have a lot of breakaway like 5-6 years ago, because the races dynamic were a bit different. And now it's most of the time big groups. So to see them in 2022 in the breakaway, he was really excited, and a lot of good hopes for the future.
Well, and it only stuck because of how hard everyone was working, right? In other races there may not have been quite that desire or that collective motivation to stay away, but it definitely had the air of the sort of pack that you would have felt very at home in, I thought.
It's always hard to understand how it works, because even if you know that it will be good for you, and like all the person in the first group know that it will be good for them to be in the breakaway, it's an individual sport, and you don't want to push more than the other, and you want to make sure that you will be able to run after the bike. So it's always tricky, and I think that's why that's hard to get along with the others, and to actually break away. But instead of the second pack, who are like there are no other choice than pushing to catch up the first pack. So I think that's why it's a bit easier to organize on the second pack. I don't know. and it worked at the end of the 2022. So we were like, okay, next year we know what to do, and we couldn't do it until the very last race. So yeah, it's a complicated thing.
Yeah. And when it works, it looks so easy as well, almost.
Yeah, exactly. Why are they not doing this at the time? But we are trying.
So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that it was only a month ago. I don't know about you, but it feels like way longer that we were all in Pontevedra and it all clicked for the second time.
Yeah.
You know, you've had a month as world champion.
Yeah, exactly. It feels the same. It feels that it was longer, especially because then I had another training block for the long distance and stuff. So a lot of things happened since then. But yeah, now I'm not thinking a lot about it anymore. I watched the Super League races, and I should have choose to go there instead of the long distance that I didn't finish.
I was going to say the offer must have been on the table for Super League, wasn't it? They're not the types to miss out on the opportunity of inviting a world champion.
Yeah. In the contract, I think that they had to do 3 races at the beginning, and before the grand final, it wasn't possible for me because I had to race for my team Poissy.
Really?
So that's the main thing why I said no. And I knew I wanted to try long distance. I wanted to try for a few years now, and I never found the time to do it. So I told myself, okay, you will do Super League another year, and just stick to the plan this year. But a bit frustrated not to be there. But yeah, another time.
Yeah, Leo smashed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I had a couple of specifics then on Pontevedra. Going into the race, the focus, I guess, a bit being on Alex and Hayden and Vasco and Leo to an extent. Did you feel like a bit of like your chances were being undercooked a little bit? Were you more than happy being sort of slightly the underdog? You know, it was 500 points. It looked so kind of unlikely.
There is 2 different things, like the race and the championship. I thought there was almost no chance for the championship. So I even told my family and friends that no, I'm not going to be world champion this year. It's not possible. Like, it's almost mad. But for the races, I was feeling really good, and I had a good race in Paris, and there was some thing that I wanted to try, and also because I knew that the 1% chance to be world championship, I had to race in a certain way. So I was more like, okay, I feel good. I really want to race this race just because of this race, not because of the championship. And I want to try the few things that I have in my mind for the last months. And so yeah, it was like I was more focused on the game part, you know, like it was like starting a game for me. So,
but what a great way to be able to go into a race like that, to be kind of quite free and thinking I'm going to try a few things and just excited, you know,
exactly.
That was the overriding thing rather than nerves.
Also because my main goal for the season was Paris, and I get my qualification, so the stress level was much lower in Pontevedra than it was in Paris. Yeah, it's a good it's a good thing to notice for next year.
Did you notice from those around you on that pontoon, did you notice a slightly heightened sense of nervousness and anticipation? Was there an atmosphere that, because quite often, even for WTCS races, it's quite relaxed, chatty, but I remember Tokyo, the pontoon felt very different, and I imagine certainly for Alex, Hayden, Vasco, Leo, it may have been a bit different.
Yeah, I imagine that it was different for everybody. Most of the time, I think I'm one of the girl you are really nervous, and this time it wasn't. So it's very good to feel like this for once.
Yeah,
but it's really understandable. Like for Hayden, Alex, Leo, maybe Vasco, like because they were really close to get the title, the podium and stuff. That's why you are. It's normal to be more nervous because something like you have more to lose. That's the way that I see the thing. And but in a ponton, nobody is never 100% relaxed. So for it's not a big difference.
And you were so you were between Pierre Lecour and Matt Hauser, right, on that pontoon, and were able to get onto Matt's feet quite quickly. Obviously, like you guys were kind of spearheading on the left hand side.
Yeah, there was Matt and Miguel Hidalgo.
Yeah,
we started really fast, and then we with Pierre and Leo we jump on the feet, and so it was a really smooth start for us because there is no contact, and pretty soon you know that the first boy will be fine.
Yeah,
and when you can start swim like this, it's not always, but when it's like this, it's really comfortable.
So I mean, on the second lap, you kind of even made up a place, I think. So perfectly well positioned, presumably had a vague gauge of who was around you and where, having come out and gone back in.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that we were like all the French, we were almost all together, and that the field was kind of well stretched. So I try to get some more place to make sure that I had a good transition, and then that I will be able to push hard at the beginning of the bike.
Because there was a sense of before the race of that being the kind of course where a breakaway just can't stick. Like there was so many speed bumps that were gonna sort of break things up.
It's always really hard to know before the race, like on a new course, if it's gonna be a race where you can break away or not. It's depending of so much thing, like obviously the course, but also the wind, or also how the swim went, also what the person you are cycling with. There is so much thing, and I don't think it was because of the course or because of anything or because of anything else than what we did that we break away. It's because I think Matt Hauser stretching the field as he did on the swim helped us a lot, and then it just went well, and we put a lot of effort into it on the first lap, and then I think everybody start to believe a little bit more that it was possible. So we were even more people walking, and it's a dynamic on the course was really really good. Not especially the course itself.
And as soon as you were out of T2, perhaps like a little further back than you would have wanted to, having come in all together, but those run splits all pretty much belong to you. And Pierre, obviously, like Morgan went off at one point, right? But
I can't remember what was my position at the beginning of the run, but this year I've been used to start a bit far away and then coming back.
Yeah,
and so it was more like a good surprise to see that my own pace was matching with the group pace. So I didn't have that much work to do on myself compared to a race like Paris. But because we pushed a lot on the bike, I was I wasn't feeling that great at the beginning of the bike, and I think it was the same for everybody. And also the run part was really challenging on Pontevedra. There was obviously the hill, but also a lot of turns, and even the downhill. It's not easy for the legs when you already rode 40 kilometers on your bike.
Yeah, I mean, it was super tight in some of those bits through the old town as well, wasn't it? Like very condensed course, not much room for.
Yeah. It was good fun, like with the tight streets, a lot of people cheering, and it was different than what we used to be, and it was really nice. I didn't want to make an effort too hard, like going straight up to the front. I saw like it was a big group, and it was not big on many small groups, so that's why I didn't try too fast to go on the front.
As it played out, and you must have had an inkling of like the fact that Hayden and Alex's races weren't going. Like how quickly did you know that Alex was basically out of the picture?
At the end of the bike, I knew it was pretty good for Leo, me, Vasco, because Hayden and Alex were not there and quite far. And on the first lap, running the first lap with a big group, like 15% or so, I thought it could be good for us because it will be more people between between us and Hayden or Alex. But because Vasco and Leo was there was still a lot of things to do to run the. And I knew that I had to be just one place in front of Leo if I wanted to beat him on the ranking, but I knew I needed a certain like four or five places gap between me and Vasco, so it still wasn't like on my control because if he was staying on the same group, there was no chance to win, but like to win the championship. So I was just I kept focusing on the race, thinking, okay, try to win the race, and then maybe there will be a good surprise.
And you can't have that much awareness of exactly who's around you, right? Especially like over that last 500 meters, you're just seeing limbs, you're just seeing the line, you know where you want to get.
I had a pretty good idea of where everybody was, and I used to run on a track, and I did some track and field competition. So I was really happy to finish on the track because I had my marks. I knew exactly where I was because it was a track. But the most surprising is that Team Elwick was pushing for a long time, like the last 1.5 kilometers, I think.
Yeah.
But so I thought he was start struggling like 200 or 300 meters from the finish line because he have done so much work, but actually he
did.
Yeah, he didn't, and he pushed even harder on the blue carpet. So yeah, he was really strong, and that was the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I remember thinking like just before the blue carpet, okay, don't miss this opportunity because you don't know when will be the next one. When I knew that I had the title, I was laughing all the time, like on the podium and stuff. But because it was a big surprise, I couldn't believe it. So it wasn't. Yeah, it was just like nervous laugh.
Yeah. Were you able to have a little moment of celebration and have some good times with the team?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was supposed to race like the week after the Pontevedra in a World Cup in Tanger, but that's why I didn't go there to take time to see all my friends, family to really appreciate the title.
Yeah.
Because now that I had many years in the sport, I know that when there is a really good moment, you have to enjoy it, because it not last forever.
Yeah.
So I took time to appreciate it, but at the same time, I managed to start doing something else to keep. You have to keep going. Like once it's done, it's done.
Yeah. And timing wise, to do it, the year before the Olympics, and the sponsors must have been delighted. I bet the phone was running red hot, wasn't it? Has the title, has it opened some new doors of the sponsors? It's going to be, it's the home games coming up. You'll go in as world champion. It's like,
For now, with the sponsors, not that much, but I'm working on it. I will see in like few weeks if it helps me. Obviously with the press in France, because there was the Olympics next year, there was a lot of things, and it's kind of nice. But I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose there's something for, you want to almost go into the Olympics a bit like you went into Pontevedra, right? Not as the favorite, not as the name on everyone's lips, but is there something to be said for sort of trying to play it a bit low key going into the games now? Obviously, having the qualification dialed in is brilliant, but I mean, there's still one criteria that has to be met, isn't there? Even for you, for Cassandra,
Yeah, exactly. If we want to make sure to confirm the qualification, we need the top 6 on Olympic distance next year, or podium on the sprint distance.
Okay.
But other way, we lose the criteria, and we are back on the same line as the other.
But in reality, that's highly unlikely to.
I'm trying to not focus that much on this criteria, because I know that if I want to be good in the Olympics, I need to be in a good shape. Like since the beginning, I mean, except if there is an injury or something could explain that I'm not really well, but other way, I without speaking to the federation, I also want to be in a good shape in the beginning of the year. So I'm not focusing on the criteria because it's also my objective, my goal.
Yeah, true. And Pierre, obviously delighted. Pierre Lecour is the other name in the same boat as you. So, I guess it's perhaps most people wouldn't have necessarily thought that it would be Vincent and Leo that are the two names that are sort of
exactly.
uncertain.
That's sport only. It can change very fast in one way or in the other way. But there is still a lot of work to do before next year, and I want to stay in the same mindset that I was this year. So keep the focus on one step at a time, and not change the way I think, because I had a good year or a good title. It will be still a lot of work with the sport psychologist to come.
His phone will be ringing red hot. Yeah. So does that mean, like, is this off season now like more important than ever? Are you usually like a try and switch off for a couple of months kind of guy, or keep it ticking over? Is there anything? What are you trying to get out of the next couple of months that that only an off season can afford you to do, really?
I want to stay focused on the thing that I know worked for me, to stay in the dynamic that I know is the best for me. which is not thinking too much about what happened and what I think my level is, and just doing the thing that I enjoy and thinking about what I'm doing now and not later or whatever. So yeah, now it's holidays and I'm gonna have 3 weeks off to feel better because I think it's important. And then I will start training again, but there is still a lot of time before even the beginning of this next season. So yeah, I don't want to rush anything.
Yeah, keep it cool, but I guess even if you're not in and around Paris, being in France, the hype around the games must be super hard to avoid, right? And it's only gonna maybe not much now, but
exactly,
it kicks in. Every other advert or every poster on the street, or there's gonna be stuff that's just inevitably gonna get the feelings going again, right? Have to avoid that.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody that are not into triathlon speak me already a lot about Olympics, and I think next year in Paris, like the weeks before, it's gonna be crazy. But if I could manage to be a bit like a robot, and just keep answering without emotion, it will be the best. So I will try to work on that, but we will see after the race if I manage to do that or not.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, if you manage to keep a lid on it until then, and you hit that podium, I'd imagine it's going to be quite the outpouring. Yeah. Particularly after Tokyo, no fans there. To the prospect of either individually or as a team crossing that line or hitting that podium in front of a huge Parisian crowd, like that test event must have just started to get that feeling going as well.
Yeah, it will be crazy. Like French are very good supporters. If you win the race, maybe not that much if you are having a bad race, but if you win the race, they are definitely very good supporters.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, Tokyo, I guess, like that mixed relay gives you plenty to build on, right? Like,
Yeah, it was really nice to get this first medal, Olympic medal, but at the end, at the same time, we wanted more because of what we did in the years before Tokyo as a team. But it's the sports, like you have to be ready on the good day, and it was better than nothing. But for sure, once you have done a bronze medal, you want to taste the gold. And I think also because triathlon is an individual sport, it will be maybe even crazier to get an individual medal, even if I really love racing as a team and doing team relays because they are really excited and because it's really different to race with a team. But there is a lot of things to do.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that solo medal, I guess, regardless of if either you're celebrating the individual performance or it's left you wanting something more, then that relay is really going to, to have that second opportunity at a games that you obviously never had in Rio to fight back is got to be great, isn't it?
It's really nice to have these two opportunities because it's really different, and it's also twice more chance to get a medal.
Yeah. Well, really appreciate the time, Dorian. I know you're fresh off the race at the weekend. Did you manage to make it home at least? Because it's quite a long drive back home. Or
we stayed there with the group to enjoy the waves.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah, thanks. It's been It's brilliant watching you this season and seeing you picking your way to deliver the fireworks at the end. We look forward to plenty more next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, cheers, Dorian.